Hey, the question came up, how do I lace my tramp? So I'll show you how I do that. This is my Hobie 16, and you see I like a lot of tension on there. That sidebar is actually bending in. So I show you how I get that tension, and this is just my technique for doing this alone. Okay, so I'm actually doing a Hobie 14 right now. This is my 14. I got a new tramp for it. I'm doing this with the whole frame off the boat right now. That's not necessary. And neither is this step, which I'm actually not going to do. I just set it up for illustration. But I've seen somebody do this, and I've done it. Using the main sheet and a couple of lines, put some good tension on that, and kind of pre-stress the crossbars. It makes tightening up, lacing up a little bit easier. So just running your main sheet, you can get enough leverage to really bend those crossbars in a little bit. Again, it's not necessary. I'm going to take that off, and I'll show you how to get that same bend without doing this step. Okay, so first step is to start with enough line. So I have, in this case, it's a 3/16 line that I got. So New England ropes. I've secured the end by melting it, and I'm just going to tie a bowline in that top grommet and get this started. Okay, so we have a bowline there. Why a bowline? Because it's pretty much the only knot I know. Only knot I ever need. Okay, so the actual lacing, what I do, this time I'm going across the top, underneath the back, and staying on top for this. Obviously you can go under or over, and this time I'm going over. I like to tuck things between the lacing, so I think that's going to make it easier. And I should have mentioned cutting enough rope. I have enough so when I lace it loose, I have enough to kind of just finish that off, but there's going to be a lot of extra. We're just going to tie that up afterwards. So I just loosely went through here. This is just very loose right now. I'll show you how we tighten that up. Okay, so first thing I did is I secured right here the line. I clamped it to the tramp with a vice grip. I'm clamping on the line and trying to pinch it between this and the grip. Stay away from your grommets. At one point, hit my grommet. Get a nice ding on that. The other thing is I have this tool I'm kind of modified. So this is just a large pair of needle nose pliers, and I'm going to be using this to twist. So I took this to my belt sander and I ground off the sharp edges on the inside there. You'll see why in a minute. So I did that all the way around, try to remove any sharp corners that were going to pinch my rope. So I'm going to get this in here. So I've tied off there up top. I go through a couple, and then I got it clamped off. I'm going to tighten it up right here. I don't know if I can show this happening, so I'm going to stop it and I'll come back. But basically, you go through a twisting motion here. Okay, so with all that twisted up, now that top horizontal line is pretty tight, and now I'm going to pinch it off at this grommet over here on the left. So I can do it alone, but I definitely need both hands to do this. So I clamped off that line just past the tight rope now, and this can come out. Now that's very loose. So I'm pinched off there, and that's not doing anything. That just helped me get it tight. And I'm pinched off there. That's as far as we have tight, just one line. So now I'm going to remove this. Unclamp that. I'm going to pull this loose part through, snug that up. Sorry for the camera work. And I'm just going to move the whole system down one. Okay, so now I'm still pinched off at the top, and I've clamped it down here. I'd moved down one grommet on the right. I'm trying to keep the rope pinched on top and not mar up my tramp too much. So take that one off. Throw that in my pocket, grab my tool again, and we're going to tighten it up to here now. So I'll tighten that up. Pause. Okay, so now I've tightened that first kind of descending line up to here. I'm going to pinch that off right there, and I'll get this pliers out of here. Okay, so now it's secured to here. Again, now it's all loose down here. These pliers aren't doing anything. Tighten this up. I'm actually going to reinstall these right here, same spot. Okay, and I'm going to go back and tighten up the next one. Okay, so now I'm twisting down here. I got it fairly tight. I'll remove these pliers and lock them in just above me here, right behind my hand. So I'm going to go from there, move it over there. Okay, so now I'm locking there. I've got 3 tight strands, and when I pull this out, it's all loose down here. Remove the lower pliers and pull that snug. Okay, now I'll reinstall these. Okay, and I'm going to go back, start twisting probably right here. Tighten down that next strap. I think I was just filming in my pocket. At any rate, so now I'm tight, and locked, and I can remove this. So I'm just moving my way down. You see it's getting nice and tight. There's a lot of tension in that. About 2/3 down. And I don't know if this is going to show up, but there's already some pre-bend in that bar. So I don't have to go too tight. There's a lot of leverage with this technique. So I'm not going to overdo it. I'm just going to move my way right back down. Also, you can see I've got plenty of extra line at the bottom now. Okay, as I'm finishing this off down at the bottom, I went through the center grommet, back up through the corner, back down through the center, and then back to this corner. I'm just going to go one more time and secure it off. That's no technique I know of. I just make it up. Actually, I decided to just tie it off right there. So it's just half hitches all the way down. Tie it up. So I lied. Actually, no, a couple more knots. So I did half hitches there. Actually, there was I used clove hitches. So half hitches, clove hitches, almost same thing, just kind of reverse directions there. And that's the center. And that's plenty of bend in that sidebar for what I need. And I did the same process on the bottom. Those lines were leftovers from an old tramp, so they were too short. To get the right length, I think you look in the catalog. You can find that online. I'll try to post something if I think of it on this video. But yeah, look in the comments. To get the right amount of line, or just do a little extra and just to use it all up at the end. There you go. Okay, there's what the bottom looks like all done. And it's a nice drum. Pretty tight. I think it's a little too tight on the bottom. I don't like to get that bend in the bottom rail, so I left a little bit of extra material, and I may loosen that up. I don't want it to be too bent on the bottom, the back rail where the traveler goes. Okay, that's it. Have a good day.